So as I have already informed you people that today there will be a test, right? Online test we will try to conduct, and based on that there will be evaluation. There will be assessment of all the students. So uh, it is not like that on the basis of only this test. I will be evaluating you. There will be more tests we will try to conduct, right? So that I will get a good idea about what you people are aware about, right? And how many are actually trying to learn the things, right? How many are trying to solve the problems. So I should also get an idea, and I should also have some criteria to decide about how many marks I should allocate, right? So yes, all these things are going to come into picture. So that is the reason why this kind of a test we are planning here. I can see today about 66 people have already joined, right? Okay. Anyway, what I will do is see, there will be 20 questions in the text, right? And you have 20 minutes, no negative marking. So, and yes, questions will be based on all this, whatever we have seen till now, right? So, questions will be based on, as I told you in the last session, this unit 1, 2, and 3, these 3 units. So, maybe a Python related question, or maybe support vector machine related question, or k-means related question, something like this, or maybe in general related to machine learning. And yeah, as I told you, all the questions are going to be objective. So everything will be based on whatever we have discussed till, right? So you should be very careful while marking the answer, while answering the questions, right? You should be very, very careful. So 20 minutes of time, I think it's more than enough for 20 questions, because I know that for many of the questions you are not going to require complete 1 minute. But still, uh, there will be 20 minutes for 20 questions with no negative marking. So what I will do is, uh, I'll see. And one more thing is that once you submit your exam, once you submit your test, right, you will be able to see your score there itself. You will only come to know how many marks you got, right? So, and yes, obviously, you will come to know that okay, where you were wrong. Maybe suppose someone has answered 15 questions correctly out of 20, so obviously you will get 15 marks. But which questions you were able to answer correctly, and which questions at which questions you are wrong, right? While answering them, so you will get an idea there itself, right? So see, obviously, as we will require 20 minutes, I will have to do 20 minutes for you people to solve the questions. But maybe 5 to 10 minutes you will take just to explain some of the questions. Maybe some of you might be having some difficulty to understand some questions because of some results, right? So definitely we can have some 10 minutes for that, right? So what I will do is, maybe I will try to start the test maybe after now it's 2:40, right? Maybe at 2:50 I will try to start the test, right? After 10 minutes I will start. Till then, what I will do is I will just try to go through whatever we have discussed till now. I will just try to update everyone whatever we have discussed till now, right? Because maybe some of you might be absent in the previous session, some of you might not be attending the sessions previously. So yes, I can see as 70 people have joined already. So everyone should have idea what's going on in these data science sessions, right? You should have idea about that. Maybe some of you might be referring my videos also. That is correct, no problem. But yeah, I will give you some idea about whatever we have discussed till now and what was the last one. So basically, let me just when we discussed the last point, our last point was this one, right? This one, introduction to neural network. Now, in your syllabus, as you can check that the third unit, the last point is introduction to neural network and a case study. So maybe last in the last session I talked about neural network, what is a neuron, and how it is related to what we can say deep learning, right? So talking about this particular topic, talking about neural network, in the last session we have seen what is a neuron. So we talked about biological neuron, right? And we even talked about artificial neural network. So when we talked about introduction to neural network, when we started our discussion with this particular topic, I told you about deep learning. See, anyway, we have already seen in a brief, we already see the difference between deep learning and machine learning and data science and artificial intelligence and how they are related, right? So already talked about that. If you will remember that particular Venn diagram which we have seen in the earlier sessions, right? But here I just try to introduce this particular term once again because Deep learning makes use of neural network, right? So even though we talked about biological neuron, I told you that okay, neurons are present in human body, right? So there is something called as long short-term memory. Depending on that, there's a type of a neural network, right? So I told you, in short, I introduced you the type of deep learning I can say, or maybe I can say I introduced you the type of neural network. So yesterday we talked about the difference between machine learning and deep learning, basic difference between these two, right? So we have seen that in case of machine learning, there is a human intervention. But when you talk about deep learning, it's a system which intervenes. It is not humans actually, right? So, in what sense I am saying this? So I'm saying that when we talked about machine learning to decide about the features, it was human. There was a human intervention to decide about the features, which features should be included, right, while training the model, and which features should not be included. So there was a human intervention in case of machine learning, but the same thing doesn't happen in case of deep learning. There is a system involved in it. System decides which features to include and which features to exclude actually. So that's a basic difference between machine learning and deep learning. That's what we have seen, right? And while talking about this deep learning or types of neural network, I talked about these three things. Right, the first type we have seen is artificial neural network. So the name itself suggests actually what is ANN, artificial neural network. So as we talked about biological neurons, so in case of artificial neural network, what we try to do is actually we try to create artificial neurons, I can say. So what did I say about this? I said that where ANN can be used, right? So I said that when there is numerical data, most of the times ANN can be used for numerical data, right? So, but again, numerical or text data I can see, right? But again, this is not hard and fast tool I can say. It's not hard and fast that you can make use of ANN only for numerical data, not at all. It can be used for image data also, but using ANN for numerical data gives you high accuracy, right? That's what has been observed. That is the observation actually. Then we talked about second thing, that is convolutional neural network. Now talking about convolutional neural network, I said that most of the times you will see that for image kind of a data, CNN is preferred, right? But it doesn't mean that CNN cannot be used for numerical or technical. Yes, it can be used, right? But try to understand. You might have heard many people saying that CNN is for only image data. It's not like that actually. But yes, this is true that for image data, CNN gives very high accuracy, right? In case of image data, CNN gives high accuracy, and that's why whenever there is image data, right? Whenever you want to create some models which are based on image data, for example, you want to create a model which is detecting some objects, right? For example, you want to detect a helmet in an image, right? So yes, you can go for this kind of a network, convolutional neural network, right? Which gives you there's a maximum possibility that it will give you high accuracy in case of image data. So that's why in case of CNN, in case of image data, CNN is preferred, right? But remember, yes, it can be used for numerical text data. Right? And the third type of machine deep learning we have talked about is nothing but RNN, recurrent neural network. So here I said that in case of in case of recurrent neural network, it makes use of something called as LSTM. So what is LSTM? Long short-term memory. So for here, I am going to see a very simple example, right? So it's a long short-term memory. So I give an example that okay, suppose I am discussing about some concept. Today I am discussing about artificial neural network, convolutional neural network, recurrent neural network, right? So maybe after 2 3 days, if I ask you some questions based on this particular topic, you might not be able to answer the questions if you do not revise the things, right? So why is it so? So you are able to remember the things for a very short period of time, right? So it is because of short term memory which is present, right? So something like this RNN makes you. And just to make you aware about, just to make some sense about all these specifically about RNN, I'll give you example. Right? If you remember, I told you that RNN kind of a thing can be used for recommendation engines. So here we have seen some examples like uh, mm, just take example of Google, right? While searching some word, right? So I give an example like suppose if I go and if I type Sachin, right? So it is going to prompt the next word, maybe most probably Tendulkar, right? So how it's possible? So recommendation, it is giving you recommendation. We talk about examples like Netflix, right? Maybe Amazon and so on. So there are different recommendation engines which can be created with the help of RNN. So that is the idea behind that is nothing but what? LST, long short term memory. So this is what we have seen in the last session, and after that I talked about. I started with this one, right? We have taken an example of an image, and I said that okay, what if we want to create a model, right? A deep learning model which helps us to create, which helps us to detect the object, right? So I said that suppose if you have an image, and in that image suppose there's some animal, right? And we want to detect whether it's a cat or a dog, right? So we are going to pass this particular image as an input, right? So we are going to pass it as an input to some neural network, and neural network, the word itself tells you, it's a network of neurons, right? That's why I talked about. I started the discussion with ANN. So in ANN, we have seen that there are different layers, right? First layer was input layer, second layer was hidden layer, right? Input layer, hidden layer, and output layer. So one of the important point I told you about this one is that how many number of neurons? See, input layer should be one first of all. Hidden layer should also be one, right? So or maybe I told you that we can decide. But how many number of hidden? How many number of this should be n? It should not be one actually. So if it is one, it is one, and this should be n. And it depends on the data I told you. Plus one more point I told you that in all these layers, whether it's input layer, hidden layer, or output layer, I told you that there are going to be neurons. Right? That's why we talked about the concept of neuron first. So there are going to be neurons, something like this we have seen in the last session, right? So there are going to be neurons. Now, how many neurons should be there? Again, that will be decided depending on the data. So we have taken a very simple example. So suppose I told you that this image will be processed with the help of some processing technique, and this image will be converted into arrays of zeros and ones, right? And then it will be passed as an input to this particular neural network, right? And then it is going to be processed. So this is what we have seen yesterday, and the last point which we were talking about was what will be the output of these neurons here, and that's why I touched. So I told you about some equations, right? Equation something like this: summation I is equal to 0 to n I into wi. If you people remember, this was the equation we talked about in the last session. So ii is nothing but the input, right? And wi is nothing but the weight. And whenever I say weight, what mean by weight? Weight is nothing but the priority, right? What should be the priority? So if you will remember yesterday's example, I have given you a very simple example. Right? If there are three friends A, B, C, right? They are hosting party at the same time on the same day. So whose party you are going to attend? The friend who is more closer, right, to you. So you are going to give more priority to him. Similarly, same thing, this weight is going to talk about. But initially, these weights are going to be random. We also do not know which particular neuron should be given the higher weightage, right? We also do not know about that. So we use this kind of equation. We get some output here in hidden layer at the neurons, and there we make use of something called as activation functions, right? So that was the last topic which I was talking about, activation functions. Now, again, there are different types of activation functions which are available. So there is something called as sigmoid activation function. There is something called as hypertangent activation function, and so on. So again, I did not discuss about it because they have not specifically mentioned it in the syllabus, right? But if you go and if you try to search, you will find out that there are near about 10 to 14 activation functions. And when to make use of which activation function, you will get to know about all those things as and when you go and you play with different types of data sets, right? So maybe I can say through experience you will get that. But again, there are some common activation functions which you generally make use of, right? Suppose if I want to show you something, maybe let me go and let me try to show you here. See, there is something called as Google Tensorboard. Some of you, those who are already trying to create some project, right, they might be aware about this. So, or I can say Google Playground it is called, right? So, Tensor. Let me show you whatever the architecture I was trying to show you, right? Google TensorFlow. Okay. I even talked about TensorFlow and PyTorch, right? So I just given you very verified, right? Just an introduction I've given you about TensorFlow and PyTorch, right? TensorFlow, I said that It is a product of Google, and PyTorch is a product of Facebook. But see, this is whatever I'm trying to show you. This is nothing but neural network, right? So as they have mentioned a case study, definitely those who are interested, you can see that there are different activation functions which can be seen. ReLU is activation function, TANH is activation function, sigmoid, linear. Again, it is not like that there are 4 activation functions. There are more than that. As I told you, more than you can find out 12, 14 activation functions which are active. So this is where, so what I can do is I can go and I can just click on this play button. I can decide about how many number of neurons I can add. See, number of neurons. I can decide about how many hidden layers I can add. I told you, hidden layers, it is dependent, it is in our hand, it is in user's hand to decide about number of hidden layers. But how many number of input layers should be there? Only one. How many number of output layers should be there? Only one. But yes, number of neurons you can decide. See, this is number of neurons. So maybe you people will be able to make some sense about this particular thing when you yourself will go and try to revise the things whatever I talked about, right? And maybe if you get time, what I will do is I will try to show you a very simple case study, which will in which we will try to implement a very simple deep learning model. Where I will try to make use of ANN or artificial neural network, right? Just to identify with the same example I will implement. I will pass image as an input to the model, and that image is going to tell you, okay, whether it's a cat or not, right? This is what I will be showing you. Maybe as a case study, I will try to show you, right? No, this is not the output of SVM. Someone is asking me, is it the output of SVM? This is not the output of SVM. See, whatever you are able to see, let me tell you. See, do not worry if you do not understand this one. This is just, I just wanted to tell you that there is something which is provided by Google, right? Those who maybe want to understand about deep learning, definitely you will come across this particular. See, these are different types of inputs, right? And this is the output by performing all the things whatever I told you, right? See, this is hidden layer. These are sorry, this is input layer. This is input layer. These are input, hidden layers, and this is the output. Right? Yesterday, those who are present, they will at least remember the names. So whatever you are able to see this one, this is the output, and see that there is something called as epochs. What do you mean by epochs? Epochs means how many number of times you want to pass input data to the model, right? That means see, epochs is like in lakhs generally. See, try to understand. Okay? Those who are saying that it's output of SVM, it is not. It is not. I already told you, whatever machine learning can do, all the things are done by deep learning, but vice versa cannot. See, this is the input data. For that input data, this is the output. This for this input data, I am clicking on. This is the output. For this input data, this is the output. For this input data, so you go and you try to click on this play button. Now the training has started. Right now the training is going on. Once this epochs is, and again, see, you can decide. I talk about weights, right? See, here you can change the weights. If I go and if I click on this, right? See, I hope you people are able to see this one. Let me go and let me try to show you. What if I give more weight? See, if I give more weight to this, then the size of that line is going to increase. See, that means this particular neuron will be having more weight. I will again repeat. You people will be able to make some sense about this one if you go and if you revise whatever I had talked in the last session. Right? That's a very basic introduction to deep learning. I am not expecting that everyone should get all these things, but yes, those who are interested definitely, so you can refer the last session wherever you will be. And yeah, definitely, I will go and I will try to show you the implementation of the object detection model, right? Or object classification model for dog and cat, where we will be having an image as input data. Right? Very basic model, right? So yeah, I hope at least you got an idea about this particular thing, that is introduction to neural network. That's what my motive was. I just wanted to give a very basic idea, right? Maybe when you will see the implementation, at that time you go and you try to build the model. I will be sharing the code also, right? Because see, for deep learning, what you need to do is you need to go, you need to first of all understand each and everything. What is hidden layer? What is input layer? What is output layer? And what is neuron? How many number of neurons are possible in each of these layers? You need to decide all. You need to understand all these things. So you will get the answers in yesterday's session actually, right? So it was a very simple introduction to neural network, I can say. Maybe if we get time, or maybe in the next session, I will go and I will try to explain you some more things about logic. Okay, possible, right? Otherwise, depending on the time, let's see how it goes. Otherwise, I will start with this last event. This will not take that much of time. Okay. Okay. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about this neural network, introduction to neural network. Right now, as I told you that there will be a online test. What I will do is, see, try to listen carefully. I will be sharing one link in the chat box, right? You can just click on that link and you will be able to see the questions. So I think I have asked you your full name, your email ID, maybe seat number. Email ID I asked 2 times. By default it asks and one more time you need to enter that, right? So enter all those fields. Now 30 minutes are remaining, right? So what I will do is I am going to get what is the time you logged in and what is the time you logged out, right? People, so see, till I will give 20 minutes. Maybe everyone should submit the test till 25 minutes past 2 in the timeout. See, I am going to receive that as a report as extension. Try to understand. Those people who will not submit the test till 25 minutes past 2 o'clock, right? I am not going to consider their. See, I will just mark them and just assume that I'm not going to assess or I'm not going to put their marks, right? You have I will have to report it to madam, right? I will have to do all these things and I will have to decide about your marks, right? Yes. See, I will tell you when to start. Okay, I will see that if someone is taking more than 20 minutes, I will again repeat. If you are going to take more than 20 minutes, that will not work. Okay. I know, see, this test is not going to be that much difficult. I know that there are a lot of questions which are not going to take more than 1 minute. So try to make sure that no one is going to take more than 20 minutes. So within 2 minutes only, I'll be sharing the link. Just check in the chat box and let me, okay, say it is 3 o'clock, right? So 20 minutes you take from now. Let me share. Once I share, I will just note down the time. Yes, just check in the chat box. You must have received a link. Let me know whether you are able to access this test or not. Just let me know. Just let me know in the chat box, yes or no. Are you able to see? Are you able to access this test? Okay. In my case, I already tried out. That's why. So yes, you people can. Yeah, I can see that many people are saying they are able to access it. So just start answering the questions and submit it. And do not leave, okay? Unless and until I tell you, do not leave. I can see there are 76 people, right? So I want to tell you something at the end. So do not leave. Complete your test, right? And wait for us. And yes, see, you will be having only one chance. Okay, you cannot send the response second time. Let me tell you that. Once you submit it, you cannot submit it once again. Try to understand. Otherwise, see, I will not hear. Okay, so I will not listen to people who will say that okay, by mistake I had done it. No, I already told you. Yeah, you can start. Yeah, this is what we will be able to see, right? Yes, those people who joined just now, for you I will again repeat. You have only 20 minutes. You will not be able to respond second time. There will be only one chance. So before submitting, try to just understand that. Okay, there will be only one chance. No one can submit it second time. That will not be allowed. And yes, one more point: do not leave unless and until I tell you. Do not leave. I hope it's clear. In between, if someone has any doubt, just let me know in the chat box. Okay. Okay, I will share the link once again. So now I will share it once again. Soumya, Bhandari, just check in the chat box. Let me know whether you received the link or not. Just okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe if someone completes it earlier, just send your name, your roll number, and your marks. Name, roll number, and marks. I will just write it down here so that everyone will be able to see. I hope everyone is listening to me. Okay. Send roll number, name, roll number, and marks. Okay, just send this in the chat box because you people will be able to view your score. Anyway, I will also get the report. But let me just check how many of you are going to get out of marks. I want to check that. Yes. You can ask if in a doubt about any question. Okay, you can ask. Okay, I mean that's good. That's good. Yes, Aryan. If you are done, just send your three whatever I have written on the screen. You can check it. Once you complete the test, send your name, sheet number, and marks. Aryan, if you are done, send these things. Send these things to the chat box. Aryan goes. Marks. Your marks, Aryan. You send your name and roll number. Okay. Yeah. Good. Yes, I will agree with you. Those people others who are done, they can also send their name, sheet number, and marks. Send at once, okay? Send at once only. Do not send separately. Separate marks, separate roll number, and separate name. Send it in the one line. See, only 5 minutes are remaining, okay? All of you. Okay, Anurag. Okay, VA Shritik. Aryan Singh. Okay. Those people who joined in last 5 minutes, right? People are solving tests. You need to click on the link which I have provided in the chat box. Solve the test and send your name, roll number, name, seat number, and marks. Mohammed Wasif, save your marks. Mohammed Wasif, save your marks. Abhishek, okay. Arno, okay. Okay, okay, Mohammed Wasif. Yeah. Send it in one line. It will be easy for me. Right. Yes, remaining people, only 4 minutes are remaining. See, even if you do not send it anyway, I will come to know about the time when you started and when you finished. I'm going to get that Excel report, CSV report, right? Okay, okay. Manas, Nishank, okay, okay, Saki, Siddharth, Siddhant, send your marks, Siddhant, send your marks. Thank you, okay, yes, good. Siddhant Pawar, send your marks. Mohit Pedro, send your marks. Purva Jalan, send your marks. Okay, Siddhant. Okay, Mohit. Okay. Good, Kargi. Chaitanya, okay. Okay, Mohit. I said still people are living. Okay. Manisha, okay. Okay, good Sharan. Good Shravan. Okay. Good Shravan. Okay, Atharva. Good. Atharva Sushi. Good. Yeah, yeah. Remaining people, please. Shadman Raza. Okay. Yes, see, 2 minutes are remaining. Good, Vishant. Okay, I can see many people have got 20 out of 20, 20, 19. But yes, there are also some people who got 11, 13, 14 marks. So just try to check, okay, where you people have gone wrong. Okay, Sanidhya, good, good, Malik Dhawan, good. So at least those who try to attend the test. Okay, see, 20 minutes is more than enough. Those who try to attend the test or attend the test, at least you have gone through this kind of question. So remember one point now. Yes, 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 yes. Remaining, submit your name, roll number, and marks. Yeah, yeah. Your I think 20 minutes are over, right? So maybe 1 minute I can wait, 1 more minute. But try to just submit it, okay? In that report, it should be 20 minutes only, not more than that. It's okay. So I think time is over, right? So we should have submitted. I will check in the report, right? I will check in CSV file who how many of you have submitted within the time. Okay. Now let me ask you, any difficulty in any question, anyone? Is it like that you did not get the question? Did you feel that question was something like we did not discuss a particular topic? Is it like this? Anyone? Okay, just let me know. Okay, I will unmute you. Just raise your hand and I will unmute you. Anyone? Anyone feels that question is okay? Okay, sir. Thanks. Anurag. Okay, that is one thing. Now let me tell you, whatever the question, right? See, whatever the questions you people have come across in this test, similar kind of questions only you will see in your final exam. Make this point actually. Okay, you will see similar kind of questions definitely, somewhat similar. I can say. For example, you have seen questions based on man distance, right? You have seen questions based on Euclidean distance, right? Then there is something called as one more for categorical data, right? Suppose we have seen questions on based on K-means algorithm, so numerical kind of questions related to centroid, right? Then questions based on KNN, right? So definitely, you will see these kind of questions in your exam. Even though I told you about unit 120, I told you that there will be questions based on 120 units, right? But yeah, obviously you will see some more questions maybe in the next coming sessions. What we will do, we will try to conduct similar kind of test, and where I will add 4 units. So you will get an idea what type of questions you will be able to see depending on fourth unit. Because see in the fourth unit you have one tool that is called as Tableau. Right, Tableau is a visualization tool actually, which can be used for data visualization. It's a very famous tool. But yeah, I just want to give an idea about what type of questions you'll be able to see. Right. So I hope that no one is having any difficulty in any of the questions, right? I got the replies from people that no one is having difficulty. Yeah, I told you that if you have any difficulty, just let me know. Okay. Yeah. Anyone remaining who did not send the roll number and name and marks? Anyone remaining? No? Okay. No problem then. If you do not have any question, we will stop here for today. Maybe the next session we'll start with the next unit, right? That is fourth unit. If someone is remaining, just let me know, other I will stop the recording. Okay. I will give the I will give the assignment also. Do not worry about it. I will just inform you on the WhatsApp group. Is it clear, Sai? Regarding assignment, I will be notifying you on the WhatsApp group. Yes, those who are done, they can leave the meeting, no problem. This is what I wanted to tell you. Yeah. Okay, guys. We will meet in the next session.